minutes. And when you're at 30 seconds, Jenny is going to give you a 30-second timer. Jenny, you want to come here?
We created a sheet in which all the order is there, and it's saying, can you announce this, that they can come in this order?
Oh, awesome.
With all the participants.
Yeah, okay.
It's shared over LumaAI.
Awesome, thank you.
Will there be organizer like you in other charging rooms?
Yes, there will be.
I'm gonna go check. You want to hold the mic, or I'll just bring the mic.
Okay. Okay, I have a question. Just who's using Wordware here? The Wordware here. Okay, level up first. We have 3 minutes. Oh, you finished. Okay. Next one is Iraq. Take it. What about Redditor? Awesome. Very nice. After Redditor, it's so just okay.
All right, yeah. Hi, everyone. Are we ready? Yeah?
Do we have all judges here? You ready? We have our timer up. You ready? Okay. If nobody else is going to say stop, I'm going to call it and we'll start. Go.
All right, yeah. So what we built is a generative AI-powered Alexa, and it acts as a friend for your friend. So it's always listening through your friend. It's building up a knowledge base based on what you said. And then you can ask it questions based on that information and based on information on the internet, and it generates novel UIs that represent that information. So to give an example, hey Miles, could you generate a slideshow based on the stuff I was saying about RAG before? Could you make it something interactive for us too? So what it will do is go through a flow where it's looking at the things I said in the past. It's building up a profile of like what's useful information here. and then it will build a HTML interface that represents that information. So it's running through right now. We can see the steps going by. That's the different like past utterances that were related. And so here we go. And so these are all things that I actually said. I said something about gummy bears before, so I guess it wanted to include that. Talking about advanced RAG applications. Oh, that's interesting. It gave us a quiz. That's the wonder of this. Each time you run it, it comes up with something new to impress you with. So yeah, the actual tech stack is Grok. There's an on-device vector database. This is a work in progress diagram of how it works. Yeah. Any use cases people want to try? We could give it a random one. Any top? Oh yeah, we can give it a picture of an equation. Hey Miles, can you take a picture of this equation and give us a step-by-step breakdown in a visualization? It's talking to us, so I don't know if you can hear that. All right, so it will go through the same process of figuring out what does that mean, come up with a UI that makes sense for that. And really the goal of this is to have the flexibility of an Alexa-style device, but with a UI that makes sense for the current user. So in the future, you could see this being something where it learns about like what kinds of UIs you prefer and specializes in those. 30 seconds? Yeah. That's we gave it a really advanced example here. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'd love to go through one example of the crowd. Anyone? No? All right, that's fine. I think I've covered everything it does. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, it's giving me a send off here. So, yeah. Any questions?
Is the back like a pre-indexed database or is it retrieval from
So it can do. Oh, we didn't show that. Of course, we should have shown that. It has MultiOn integration, so it can do live live retrieval, and it also has like an on-device vector database with past sayings and utterances. Yeah. Oh, I was going to say like an example is like I can tell it, for example, go on Hacker News and give me a slideshow of the top 5 stories, something like that. It lets it go out on the internet. It will find the results and generate a UI that represents them. Yeah.
So is the main benefit of the hardware component just camera and recorder, or is there any other benefit?
Yeah, part of it is latency and a little bit of privacy. So you could see this like, I'll say privacy is like jumping the gun a little bit. Like in the future, you'd want to have the model running on here, generating the facts. So it's like filtering out anything that's not relevant for future queries. So that's things that are like privacy related, things like that. We're using Grok, so it is still going to an outside server, but that would be the benefit. Also latency, because it's using like the voice activation detection on the device. It's really nice to like in this noisy room, I can still speak to it and understands it.
All right, let's only do one Q&A. All right, thank you. And also, are you using any tools, like any of the partner tools?
Yeah, we're using Grok, MultiOn, AWS. I'm probably forgetting some. We're using Friend. We're using AgentOps.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, thank you. Give it up for Alexa. Next up, I think No Live. Are you here? They're not here. So what about MyPod? Yes, MyPod. And also, okay, cool. Maybe before we start, can you let us know what partner tools are you using?
I need
After my pod, Cracked Stock Guru, and then Amina.
Yep. So for the partners, we're using MultiOn, Friend, Mem0, AgentOps, Grok, and Grok. Okay, so basically the idea is to turn your watch and read list into an interactive podcast. If you're like me, you probably have a bunch of videos that you save to a playlist and you want to watch sometime. And then you have probably some emails you want to do the same for, and a bunch of tabs open in your browser. And I think that's something that we could transform. We could transform all of that content into a podcast, which would be personalized for you, and it would be interactive so that you could ask questions and drill down into the things you're interested in. So let me show you that. Basically, it all starts with using MultiOn to go to my YouTube and retrieve the watch later videos. As soon as those are retrieved, we can see that there are some status updates. It downloads the audio segments of the top highlights of the video. The highlights are fetched using the most replayed segments of the video that you can see on YouTube. Then as it downloads it, it basically transcribes that video into a text, prepares some, let me show you that, prepares some summary. So as you can see here, the segments were fetched. Now it uses the Mem0 to fetch my interests, likes, and some memories that my friend here actually logged in for me. So when the summary is prepared, it's actually personalized. Like for instance, here, this video is with Bill Ackman. And as you can see here, it knows that actually I like watching Lex Fridman's podcast, or for instance, that I had a conversation about Lex Fridman's podcast with my colleague, or for instance, that I'm like interested in startups and business development. That's why some of the aspects will be highlighted. So as you can see here, it generates that summary and then basically generates combines the audio segments of the highlights and that audio summary of the podcast into a single file that we will be able to see right now, to hear.
Hi, Bayram. I hope you're enjoying your time at the MultiOn Hackathon. I hope I won't screw up during your demo. So let me tell you about this video from your watch later list. This video is about Bill Ackman.
And I can actually ask questions. So tell me about the book that Bill Ackman told about us in this podcast. So it will transform the audio into a text, ask the agent to respond to a text given the transcript, and it will actually reply with a response here. As you can see, Bill Ackman mentioned the Intelligent Investor book. And then since I'm a bookworm, it would just go to Amazon and put that into my Amazon cart. That's basically it. Happy to answer your questions.
All right, one question from the judges. Do you have any questions? All right, well, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Up next, No Live. No Live, are you using any partner tools?
We try to squeeze in as much as we can. So we have, we're using Friend, we're using MultiOn, we're using Grog, we're using,
Grog, MultiOn, and Friend.
We're using AgentOps as well.
AgentOps. Okay, awesome.
All right. So this is, I'm Isha, and we present Agent-ish. So what this does is, when I go to a lot of hackathons, events, I'm also a grad student, so I go to lectures, I talk to engineers, I go to doctors because I'm a diabetic too. So there are so many jargons and so many words that I do not understand, so much new technology, new concepts. So we wear friend. I'm always wearing friend. So what it does is, throughout the day, it actually records my conversations. And then the agents, the MultiOn agents, they actually work on the scripts from this friend, and it identifies the key topics, the key concepts, those concepts that I would be interested to learn more. And then it researches media from YouTube, research papers, and it comes up with custom resources for me to learn from. So what it does essentially is it breaks this inertia for me to learn every day, because I don't know what I want to learn. When I hear so many new technologies, so many new startups, what they're doing, I don't even remember when I go back home that I have to search them up, right? So this like creates those flashcards for me. This creates those short, quick reads for me, that I can just go home and just read through. I don't have to make any searches at all. And that's where the agents, they all come into play. So this is the kind of information that we can all get. So, just because we have limited data in the friend, but yeah, we were talking about MultiOn. So yeah, it did create a flashcard for me to get to know MultiOn a little more. And then I loaded it up with one of the conversations I was having with my endocrinologist regarding type 1 diabetes, a lot of jargons, a lot of things to understand from there. So it has like created a little story for me to see it as a friend who's going through a similar condition. If you scroll more, it has also suggested a diabetic diet for me. This has the recipe, this has the ingredients. If we had more time, we would have the agent actually order the ingredients for me. But yeah, we were short on time, but yeah. So if I was to go like, can we zoom into that? That's my picture from like 20 years ago. If I could go back in time and somebody had to explain how to deal with type 1 diabetes, so these agents would actually also create content for little kids, in a way that it can be understandable. So flashcards, short stories, Quizlets, and these storybooks, all of this could be created without me having to interfere at all. So now we move to the tech stack and the infrastructure.
Well, I think you talked about most of the things already. So now we just want to say that all the outputs that you can see here are just generated from our different agents. The things that we can generate whatever we want, more or less. All we need to do is create a new agent, and depending on what the user will want, we will create something else. So just the one thing we want to show you is that the inputs we were using right now, as you said, is the inputs from friends. So more or less, we are using just the input from friends. So let's refresh to see if we receive something else, and we can generate more stuff about that. Maybe while he's doing that, you could talk, guys, about the agents themselves.
Yeah, so pretty much how it works is we have the friend information, we get a transcript from the friends, and then we use the transcript to get like overarching topics to then search YouTube using MultiOn, and then research papers also using MultiOn. And then with LLM queries, we use Grok heavily. And then just to monitor any LLM use with other LLMs like OpenAI, we used, we use AgentOps. So yeah, this is the general stack, and then users can pick out what type of media they want at the end.
Open to all questions?
Can you talk about Lambda?
Oh, wait.
Yeah, we forgot to say we also used AWS to retrieve the data out from friend. So we basically made a Lambda with a webhook to retrieve the data out of friend.
Can we see the output?
From, oh yeah, yeah. Refresh it.
Yeah, this is gonna repeat it. We already refreshed. So all of those are the different outputs we can get. So more or less, we have an agent. Like the idea is that we didn't do a filtering yet, but the idea is that this current user is interested by several topics, like for example, healthcare, as you can see here, healthcare, or tech topics like here, and also recipes. And the thing is that, anytime we receive inputs, our orchestrator agent, which is here in the middle, will say, okay, this person wants all those elements, so we are going to run the agent that builds the flashcards. We are also going to run the agent that builds the summary. Same for the recipe and the storybook. And more or less, anytime we want to create new outputs, we just need to create a new agent that will be called by the orchestrator. And that's how it works.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All
Thank you.
right. Give it a round of applause. Okay, up next, Cracked Stock Guru, and then Amina.
All right, thank you.
All right, can you start by telling us which partner tools are you using?
Actually, I'd like to go at that at the end. Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it. All right, let's get this thing cracking. As soon as this kicks in. Steve. Oh, never mind. Okay, great. Okay. So fantastic. Hi guys, we're Cracked Stock Gurus. We're here to help find the highest short interest in the Wild West. So check this out. We built this website out of here. You go here, there's a little chat bot. It's a little Jojo the crack salesman. Get moo questions about Cracked Stock Guru. You can talk with it and get all kinds of different stuff. When you sign in, we sign it up with a clerk, so that way anybody can have easy access with OAuth insert into it. But let's go ahead and actually get into the actual product. So what is this? Well, we have a dashboard, we have a chatbot, and we have a chat support. Chatbot is meant to go and help hype you up and help make you make the best gains possible. And then we have a dashboard here. So there's 3 little buttons here. 2 of them are powered by MultiOn. 1 is powered by base hardware. So what the hell am I doing? We have here a see current highest short interest. We have a see top traded stocks, and we have an analyze stock transcription. The first 2 are kind of more self-explanatory. We have MultiOn agents go online and search for the current highest short interest or search for the top traded stocks. Then with base hardware, because I go to these events and I'm around and stuff, we set up an API server so that way whenever I'm talking and we have memories being sent, we have it sent to the API server, and then the AI can go and transcribe and understand what's happening and see what's the better chance. Because if I talk to all you guys, and you all work at big companies like NVIDIA and stuff, one of you guys are going to say something that you guys shouldn't have, and I'm going to get an advantage on that on my stocks. So here's the really cool part. I know I'm super ADHD, and I am lazy. So whenever I click this button, I'm not going to wait forever for an API. So I'm going to play Snake. Yeah, Snake. So this is just a general concept, and I'll let it run in the background, but let's go ahead and talk about it. So we are Cracked Stock Guru. We're using AI agents for sniping the best stock analysis. Why are we doing this? Here on the left, we have a user. A user actually reached out to me a couple days ago. He asked me, hey, Renee, can we go and use AI agents to go and do this thing with stocks? I'm like, well, I'm not sure. Well, I found out about MultiOn at the hackathon. I'm like, wait, I can actually do this. So I did it. I implemented the feedback right here on the right, and the user now wants to be our first customer. I just haven't set up the Stripe integration with that. $100 a month. But what did we do? We implemented the first ask of the client because the client really wanted to know and understand, hey, if I'm looking for the highest short interest currently available, how do I do that? I don't want to go and spend all my time doing that. So we did that, and then we also implemented the hardware webhook so that way if you're wearing friend at events, you can go ahead and do that. So real quick about the winning team, this is me, I'm Renee, hi, nice to meet you, and this is my boy Stone. We also use the products MultiOn AI, AgentOps, base hardware necklace, Replit, because Replit is the best, Gemini. We used 4 different API servers, and the front end is run on Next.js. We have a couple things that we didn't get to do, so I'm going to have my friend Stone here to talk about what we didn't get to do and what we would implement.
So basically, we want to take Wall Street bets and then take all of the information that people are talking about different stocks and sentiment about those stocks, and then upload that into our product, and then also taking real-time, implementing payment options, and then being able to actually act on paying for those stocks, and then taking them, and yeah, that's about it.
And final thing real quick. Oh crap, this one failed on me. Never mind, don't worry about this test. This test did not work, but that's okay. Normally what happens is whenever you go and run the MultiOn here, we have agents that are actually like searching, and we get the transcription here after the snake is done. But we are Cracked Stock Guru. Thank you for us. And if we have any questions, please ask. Yes.
Which tools are you using?
Oh, yeah. So on the slide deck here, we have MultiOn, AgentOps, base hardware, Replit, Gemini, 4 API servers, and we're using Next.js.
Awesome. Thank you.
Awesome. Anybody else? All right. Sounds great.
All right. Thank you. Love the energy. Amina, you're up next, and then it's BRX. Amina, are you here? Okay.
I'll do that in a second. This one we're ready. I'll take this off. Yeah, sure. Who's speaking?
Test.
Do you want to say about the multi-agents or something like that? We'll see. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we should. Yeah, you should. That's okay.
Testing.
Cool. Hey guys, we're Amina. We basically built a medical co-pilot specifically for mental health. And when we say mental health, really around in the primary care setting. So one of the biggest issues, and I'm not sure if you guys are aware of these stats, but there's a lot of mental health concerns that get slipped through primary care currently in the United States. Like, for example, about 50% of all suicide attempts, 50% of those patients had a primary care visit at least 30 days prior. So they had an actual clinical visit. About 70% right now with like known medical mental health histories get overlooked in primary care. And over 60% of time, like during that primary care visit, the physician is spending that time in an EHR system. So we basically looked at some of the tools, like I guess, yeah, we'll get into that, what exactly that tools is. But where we really focused on is building a real-time clinical co-pilot that's wearable. And the main goal here is enabling clinicians to build relationships with the patients. And we're looking at the full entire health assessment, so not just physical health, but as well as mental health in primary care. And as we do this, we're also reducing clinical errors so that we can scale out these treatments. Let's go into how it works.
Yeah, sure. And these are some of the tools that we use. So we use tools like Deepgram and Friend to get the data, which is sent to AWS Medical NLP. And we take ICD-10 medical diagnostic codes, which is then sent to MultiOn. And we'll continue from here. Yeah.
And we're going to do a quick demo right now. And just to give you some context of the demo, I'm going to play a doctor. And my name is Vijay, and this is Victor. He's going to be a patient. Victor's background, and as his clinical background, hypothetically, he's got diabetes. And then there's a known thing of like about people with diabetes, 50% of them have depression. So just given that context. So we're going to go ahead and role play a little bit. Hey, Victor, welcome to, hi, nice to see you.
Hey, Dr. Vijay.
Hey, sorry, now it's running. So, hey, Victor, how have you been feeling?
I've been having some trouble sleeping.
Cool. So what just happened right now is the system behind the scenes. So what just happened right now is that the system behind the scenes detected that Victor's been having some symptoms that might sound like mental health concerns. And what we're doing is that we're triggering MultiOn after Amazon Web Services like identified the clinical diagnostics behind that and his medical history. And then it navigates the EHR system directly to the place where the clinician needs to do something. So we're just really simplifying that workflow. And here's another Victor to talk about the future.
Okay, the future about this is sometimes you consult for a doctor, but the wrong doctor. I mean, for example, you have a problem in your eyes, but the root cause comes from other organ. What we can do with this is just to read between lines that you are talking with your doctor and see if that's the right doctor or give you more information that can help you to find the right person to help you.
Awesome. That's all we have. I don't know if there's any Q&A.
Good job.
Thanks.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Amina. BRX, you are up next. And then after BRX, there's Devis.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You can pop this out of there. Click around.
Awesome. How's it going, everybody? So we are hackers at nature, and you're going to see that from the way we're presenting this. We were kind of under the impression we had a little more time to get this together, but we have a working demo of showing something really interesting you can do, connecting some of the inner services from Groq, as well as some of the services from AgentOps, as well as we are doing AgentOps, Groq, some add-on services in the background as well. But the idea is we wanted to be able to see what we could do with one of the actual pins. Turn it off. So one of the first things that we did, real quick, was we rewrote one of the drivers for the actual friend pins to get real-time data coming out of these so we could have an actual audio stream processing. And I will ask if anyone's in the audience, if you could turn your pin off for just a second so we can or your friend off for just a second so we can reconnect. Okay, so we're connected to someone in the audience, so I'm going to need you to take over and talk a little bit. But when we connect out, we can now have a live stream of audio that's coming out of the actual friend device. So this is a little nicer because we wanted to be able to use the Groq interface since it has speed to be able to inference over the actual audio that's coming out multiple times to make decisions on a potential game. This is actually a cool piece of engineering we have running. So in this instance, we're actually using one of the LLMs to operate and control the left side or the right side paddle of this Pong. And on the right side, we're using the actual voice to text. So if anyone's in the audience and they want to start talking, you can use natural language now to process in a way that would translate into an actual move or positional move that one of these, I guess, instances or models can operate on. So it was a cool idea, and I'll pull up some of the engineering real quick on this one as well, and I'll even show off some of the templating we were doing before. But we used one of our own platforms to actually template and engineering, do some of the engineering beforehand. So that entire game of Pong you were just looking at is completely programmatic through the actual AI and through the instance itself, where it's making all the decisions on all the decisions on what to do for the actual paddle position. Sorry if this is all a little jumbled together, but I'd also wanted to show off something cool too. Do you have your laptop? We also are working with the crew agents as well. We thought it'd be kind of fun in the background while we were running and talking to the actual Pong instance that was running to have kind of like a bleacher stand talking around. And while it's all running, we have a bunch of crew agents that are running around and saying, oh, that was a great shot, or oh, that was something really awesome. But we're really trying to see what we can do and where we can push real-time data and real-time processing of LLMs through some of the Groq interfaces. And that was one of the biggest things we set out to do in this hackathon. So I'll pull down some of this too. In perfect hackathon nature, some production keys sitting in the Notion docs. But these were the original, if you still, these are all be deactivated after tonight. But we were originally operating down, so we're using AgentOps to monitor all the operations that are running in the crew agents, so we have better observability. And then on the side of the actual crew agents, we were running memory for some of those bleacher stands, and then some requests going out. Originally, we wanted to also be able to use the add-on service in MultiOn. We were having some issues with connectivity, but then to use that to go scrape from the web and pull as well. 30 seconds. But yeah, so at the core, that's what we were running for this event. We really wanted to push the boundaries of what's possible with some of these modern LLMs and modern computers when it comes to more practical operations. I know this might, in a lot of sense, feel less practical, but now that we have the ability to use actual voice text and voice speech to manipulate calls and operations, it really opens up the door to some things we can do. And let me also pull up one more document here, as quick as I can, if I can find it. If you can see, we're hacking as hard as we can. We have way too many documents open, but we had a Lucid Doc showcasing because one of the bigger ideas was we wanted to be able to inference Groq multiple times at the same time while we're running and operating down on one of these subsequences, and I'll show this super fast. But we were pulling in the actual Groq instance itself to make a selection and a call between multiple models and multiple inferences. So we were using each one of these tinier models that are running on Groq really fast to make a quick snap judgment, and then pulling probabilities off of those judgments to make a better call. So using a bunch of operations all at the same time, really fast to make a bigger operation. But that's about it.
Thank you. Pretty awesome, especially the crowd. Does anyone have any questions? All right, if not, Devis, you all are up next. Oh, I guess the question is, Devis, are you here? Nope. All right. Sapiento AI, you're up next. Davis? All right.
Good start. Good start. All right. We need to spin it up. We need to spin it up. One moment, guys. One moment.
Everybody saw the Biden step down?
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so give me a second. Just check on this. I'm not sure I'll be able to handle that. Yeah. We have a few technical issues with the screen. It's only a moment here. Sorry about that, guys.
All right.
All right, once again. You can do it. You can do it, Mark. Thank you. All right. There we go. Hey, hackers. I'm Mark. And this is Rob, Divija, Pranav, and Sako. So the other day, I met Sako at a different hackathon. He's a data science expert. And he came to the hackathon with a plan to work on long-term memory for AI agents. Unfortunately, Sako, it didn't work out for him. And he ended up working with a biotech developer, an MBA on a chap wrapper for dentists. Hackers, we've all been there. Forming teams isn't easy, and it's not just hackathons. It's throughout all our lives. Selecting problems and people to join good teams is really challenging, and it sucks for all of us. And we are solving this with Davis, your hackathon and developer advocate agent that solves the problem of Sako. And basically, Sako can use Friend AI to voice control the system, the agent.
Hello, what's your name? My name is Sako. What's your GitHub? Sako MWS.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, and the agent will spin up the website or scrape the website of Luma event or any other website, which is behind authentication wall. So it is possible to access his private data and go through the page and extract using human language names of the participants, the judges, the sponsors. And Sako, who wants to work on long-term memory, can join the team that's basically matching his needs and also would like to work on a similar problem. Furthermore, we one moment. Furthermore, we store data that has been scraped using MultiOn into mem0 objects. And these mem0s are a lot.
Actually, for the, can you plug in? Can you plug in? Yeah, just, yeah. Very quick, the platform, I'm just gonna, sorry about the timing. So here is, we are using Friends. What we do, we have a test API backend where we are taking and sending as a webhook. And then once we get this one, what we are doing, we are taking the GitHub from that conversation, and we are calling MultiOn agent to go to GitHub, pull the location where they are working, their LinkedIn and everything, and more all this stuff. And then we are pulling all this data, and in the end of the day, it's going to be a platform like that. And then basically, yeah, and the AgentOps and everything we use for the monitoring. And then you can ask for more about the hackathon, and then you can end hackathon and see basically whole hackathon experience in one platform. Again, it was a 2-day project. We took a bit scope more than we expect, but we see a lot of people struggling with that. We will continue on that as open source so that you guys all can contribute and use. Thank you.
Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions? Looks like we have one.
Tell me more about how you use Wordware. We do use Wordware to.
You can show it if you want quickly.
I can show it. Thank you.
Sorry, we have just a lot of stuff, so we just didn't get time to show everything.
One moment. Thank you. Yeah, of course. So basically, we end up in Wordware having this beautiful notebook that's basically Dev's Advocate page that allows you to aggregate top ideas and renders participant summary and builds teams. And we plug in event page data here. So Sacco using human natural language and Friend AI datagram and Grok gets the data extracted from Llama, LinkedIn and GitHub pages, and it's all loaded to Wordware, and it actually works. We had some challenges with one of the APIs in the meantime, and me with the screen. So it actually builds this page using the data that's scraped from private websites. Yeah.
Just briefly about architecture. So we have first layer where we are getting from the friends. We call it active data collection, and then we have passive data collection where MultiOn is doing from LinkedIn, GitHub, and all this stuff. And then what we do, we take all of these and you pushing to the Grok in the context window and doing the team matching, everything. And the platform, I show the UI, and then should be able to do these multiple roles. So.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Up next, Sapiento AI.
This is it, right?
No, this is it.
Oh. Makes sense. Makes sense. Closer here. Sticking it. Yep.
Okay. Hello, Homo sapiens. We've got a really cool upgrade for our kind. So in an age where we're overloaded with information and data, it's very, very hard to commit logical fallacies and to say whatever, and no one is holding you accountable. But I think our kind is dependent on sapiens, wisdom. And so that's why we built Sapiento AI with MultiOn, Grok, and this little device here, Friend. as I mentioned, it is very hard to discern some kind of problem with someone who's talking with you in real time. And it's amazing if you can detect this with this device. So unexamined life, in our opinion, is not worth living. So with Friend, you can create memories, and with the speaker, we integrated with MultiOn to do a real-time checking of news. So for example, we've got the example of Trump shot in the head, and this is like a very important distinction. And then the MultiOn just kept on scraping for news, and it determined that it was shot in the ear, not in the head. So, and then for our backend, we use Grok to discern the logical fallacies, and you can see here that, sorry, here we go. That it provided like, this is a false dichotomy. So this person gave you a choice and a second choice, and it didn't even allow you to do a third choice. And this is very important. Every single day in our lives and political debates and conversations with friends, we've been literally ignoring these facts, and we are easily persuaded. So I think like we need to reclaim our sapience, our wisdom, and it's definitely with Sapiento. And yeah, I think, yeah. So just dare to know always with Sapiento AI. Thank you.
Thank you. Short and sweet. Does anyone else have any questions?
Mm-hmm.
First part is, yeah, so with MultiOn, you can do the fact checking part, because that involves like factual retrieval from the internet. So there's that bit. And then using Grok, which you can, for example, prompt or fine tune to be actually better at like identifying logical fallacies or perhaps like inconsistencies, things like that, or even cognitive biases. You can do that. And the good thing about this is it's parallelizable, because on one hand, you have one call to for the web retrieval, and then you have one call to like a Grok identifying cognitive biases and such. So since this is done separately, you actually cut down some of the latency, and that sort of ensures that you're getting a near real-time feedback on whatever discussion you're having.
Yep. Yeah, so the question was, with longer chunks of text, the model will suffer a little bit, and I think with Friend, it gets updated every 30 seconds. So every 30 seconds, it sends a chunk of your text to check it in real time using, like we mentioned, MultiOn, Grok. The fact checking is MultiOn. We chose MultiOn, so we don't rely on an LLM, like an AI, to provide, because most of the time it's outdated, and it just helps if instead of pulling, the phone from your pocket and doing the search yourself, something that does it as you talk, and then just provide some results in real time and with internet. Thank you.
Awesome. Perfect. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. The 2 days have been pretty awesome. I just wanted to let you know if anyone wants to meet up with any of the founders or any of the people, let us know and we'll give you the information. I clearly work with a lot of founders. I'm like, food will be ready soon. And if Mariane has any other announcements, here you go.
All right, so food is going to be ready. You can just network, have fun. We're going to meet and we're going to decide the top 12 that are going to present. But for now, just enjoy, network around, and then food should be there in 5 minutes. We're just getting it ready. And if anyone wants to volunteer to help me set up the food, let me know. I'd appreciate it.